MetaQuest just released their list of the best Quest games of 2023 so far. Let's go through the list together. Comment down below as we go through the list and let me know what you think of each game. First up on Meta's list of best 2023 games is another Fisherman's Tale. This is a sequel to A Fisherman's Tale, and it's an amazing puzzle adventure game that'll make you feel like you're jumping into a storybook as you explore the environments and solve puzzles using your own body. Yes, your own body, including detaching your limbs. It's got some really cool locations and set pieces, and overall, if you were a fan of the original game or any puzzle adventure games on the Quest, this is definitely a great game. Next up on the list is Barbaria. Now, I've been singing the praises of this game for a while. It's a very unique combat adventure action type of game, and it's got some really cool multiplayer elements. Different type of multiplayer elements in that they are asynchronous multiplayer. So it's not like traditional multiplayer in VR. You're going to be traveling to your friends and strangers' home places, essentially, where they've set up traps and their hero, and battling to see if you can destroy and raid their place. It's a super unique element, nothing like it that I know of on the Quest. Other than this game, the combat's really fun, and as you build your own place and unlock new things to place there, it becomes a game of chess where you're trying to create the best home environment while also traveling out to destroy others and raid other places. I agree with this 100% being on this list because I very much enjoy this game. Next up is another game I 100% agree on, and that is Breachers. Breachers is a combat online multiplayer game, although you can play some of it in single player with bots, but overall the best experience is online, and it'll have you breaching buildings while another team defends. They've added a new mode in recently as well. I talk about this game all the time on the channel, so I'm not going to belabor the point, but 100% this game should be on your list if you love first-person shooters at all, especially online first-person shooters. Breachers is number 3 on our list. Today's video is sponsored by Soylent. Soylent is a nutritious meal replacement drink. It's both gluten-free and vegan, and they have several different flavors like vanilla, strawberry, mint chocolate, and even my favorite, creamy chocolate. Not only do these drinks pack a nutritious punch that'll keep you playing VR for hours, you know as well as I do, I'm not the only one to forget to eat during a long VR session. They also taste really good as well. And all that flavor comes with just 1 gram of sugar. So whether you're trying to increase your nutrition intake or you're looking for a meal replacement that's delicious, Soylent is not just a great option, it's a delicious one too. Soylent has been awesome enough to give you guys a 30% discount on your Soylent order. Head to the link in the description or use code BMF30 to get a 30% discount on your Soylent order. Head to the link in the description to check it out. Next up, Budget Cuts Ultimate. This is actually a really cool port of a PC, I think also PlayStation VR title. Now this is kind of a remaster, if you will, of 2 different games put into one. That's why it's the Ultimate version, or the Ultimate Cut, or I guess you could technically say, because scissors is kind of a big part of this game. This is like an adventure sneaking game with a really cool story and environment. It is an older game, so it does sort of show its age in the way that it plays and some of its mechanics, especially in Budget Cuts 1. Once you kind of transition to the story of Budget Cuts 2, it's a little bit more modernized because that's a newer game. But overall, the story is a lot of fun. The stealth is really cool. I very much enjoyed playing through the Quest version of this game. If you're looking for another stealth action game with unique, funny stuff going on, where you're going to use knives to dispatch robots and sneak around, Budget Cuts Ultimate is a very fun game. This next game, called the CVR, I actually have not finished. I played a little bit of it, but I haven't finished it. I played the flat game. I just hadn't gotten around to really jumping in and playing through this. This is another game with Sissy Jones, which is great. She's from Firewatch. She did another game that's on Quest as well that I really enjoyed. It's a very fun puzzle, adventure, exploration type of game. We're going to play as Nora Everhart, who is on an expedition to find her missing husband. And it's just one of those puzzle adventure games. This will get you thinking and enjoying a story. There's a lot of set pieces. There's a lot of things you can just kind of read and find in this game. It's a very unique story. If you haven't played the flat version, I think this is the best version to play from what I've played. I just have not finished it yet. But again, great game to be on the list. Next up, Drop Dead The Cabin. I talk about this one all the time too because it's like Call of Duty Zombies. It's fun and It's like Call of Duty Zombies. Not really much else to say about it except for you're going to play over and over again to try to get farther and farther. It's better with friends. As you earn upgrades, it gets a little bit easier. They've been adding new stuff to it. It's fun. If you like the first Drop Dead, or if you just love zombie shooters, then you'll like Drop Dead the Cabin. This next game, I think, might be Game of the Year in some ways for me. This is Eye of the Temple. This is a fantastic game, and it feels a lot like Indiana Jones, which is great because the new Indiana Jones movie just came out. This will have you walking around in 6 blocks, essentially. So you have to have a little bit of space for this game, but that space will make you feel like you've walked miles by the time you're done, stepping onto blocks, moving out of the way of enemies or out of the way of traps. It feels like you're exploring an old temple, even though you're literally just moving back and forth within like a 6-block radius. It's really well done. Highly recommend it. If you like puzzle games or if you want something unique with a unique locomotion, it's just a blast. Time for a dad joke break.
Did you know that pie costs $2.50 in Jamaica and $3 in the Bahamas? It's true. These are the pirates of the Caribbean.
Next up is Gods of Gravity. I will admit, I have not played this game. I might have to since it's on this list, but I'm not sure. I'm not really a huge RTS-style game fan, but this is apparently like an arcade RTS. It says you'll scoop up ships and fling them to capture a nearby planet or open wormholes to teleport them across the solar system, hold planets and moons to boost your production, mine asteroids for the powerful resources within, and if you dare, capture the sun for the ultimate buff. Then send a massive fleet to conquer your enemy's home planet. Last god standing wins. So it sounds unique. It's not something I played. If you played it, comment down below if you think it should be on this list. I don't know. So let me know down below if you think this is actually worth being on this list. Next up is Killer Frequency. Killer Frequency takes place in 1987 in Gallows Creek, and it is a slasher film playing out in a radio booth. It is super unique. Kind of reminds me of Area Man Lives if you played that or saw that. But this is creepy. I don't know. There's just something about this game that makes it feel like I'm in a Scream movie or something like that, where you're controlling the outcome. You can accidentally let people die, or I guess not let people die, accidentally make decisions that make people die, which the first time that happened to me, I had to quit because I was like, oh man, I just caused someone to die. And it was oddly impactful. But yeah, Killer Frequency, great choice to be on the list as well. The Light Brigade. Now this is one of 2 roguelites on this list, which roguelites are extremely popular. But this is probably the best roguelite on the Quest currently, or at least out this year, but definitely one of the very best out there. The Light Brigade will have you going through procedurally generated battlegrounds as you try to upgrade your character and continue moving forward. The weapons are really fun. The visuals look really good. The enemies are unique, and the bosses are challenging. And as you upgrade your weapons and your abilities and like the magical spell type things that you have, the light magic or whatever it is, it's really cool. I'll just leave it at that. I know a lot of people that I've talked to that really enjoy it, and it's probably one of the best roguelikes out there on the Quest. Next up, Pixel Ripped 1978, another game that I unfortunately have not had the time to play, but I imagine it's worth being on this list. This is taking place in 1978, and you're playing someone that is actually a game creator at Atari, and you're going to be Dot again. This is the 3rd game in this series, and you're going to be entering into an actual Atari, playing games from the inside, also controlling Dot from the outside. It's just, I love this series because it's not just nostalgic, it's unique, and it takes place in a world where you get to enter video games in a unique way. In VR, we enter video games, in a first-person way. Well, this is like meta because you enter into these video games in VR. It makes it feel like another VR. I don't know. It's fun anyways. I imagine it's worth being on this list, but let me know down below if you've played this and if it is or not. Next up, Power Beats VR, another game I have not played. Out of the games on this list, I think there's probably 3 or 4 games I have not played. This is Power Beats VR. It's a workout game. I have other games that I play for workout if I'm going to get exercise. I have not played this one. Maybe I should. Let me know down below what you think. If I should, it says, are you ready to break free from the same old boring workout routine? Power Beats VR is here to elevate your fitness journey to new heights. With this intense and subscription-free VR fitness app, you'll be punching, squatting, and dodging your way to your dream body. The one thing out of that stands out is the subscription-free, which is awesome. and a lot of the other platforms. There are several other experiences that do use subscriptions, and I know people don't like those, so that's probably a good reason alone to be on this list, but let me know down below if you use this and what you think. Here is the second roguelike on the list. This is Rogue Ascent VR. This is the hand-tracking roguelike game that you should be playing, 100%. This is one of my favorite hand-tracking games of all time, and it is probably one of the games that has the most game for a hand-tracking game, and that functions the best for shooting in a hand-tracking game. I've played a few other games that try to do it, and some of them do it okay. This one does it exceptionally well, and the game itself is beautiful, and it's fun to play. It just happens to be a hand-tracking game. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're playing a game that is a fully fleshed out game that just happens to use your hands. And this is probably why it's on this list, and I totally agree. Next up, We Are One. We Are One is a puzzle VR shooter that I've talked about a lot on the channel as well. I played quite a bit of this. I have not beat it, but I've played a lot of it, and it's a lot of fun. This is where you're going to play as the several characters in like a puzzle type of thing, where so you're gonna play the first character. You're going to complete an action, whether it's throwing a gun to the next character. Then you're going to play the second character. Well, the first one is recorded and does the action you did previously. Essentially, beating the game with yourself in multiple versions of yourself feels really cool to play and just a very enjoyable experience. And last on the list, we have Windlands 2, and I actually put this on the recent best multiplayer games list because this is a lot of fun in multiplayer, but even in single player, it's fun to swing around. It's got some really fun story pieces and set pieces. The swinging is great. The boss type battles and enemies are really fun to dispatch. Overall, just a wonderful game to play as you fight against some very large enemies and try to save this, world from ancient danger, like the description says. There you go. There is Meta's best Quest 2 games of 2023 so far. What do you think of the list? Let me know down below what you thought overall, if this is a good list, if you think that there are games that shouldn't or should be on here. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for all things Quest, and happy questing.